Hi, today we will have a look at how we can get the DJI Phantom RTK to fly along the terrain in terrain awareness mode. So for that purpose I have opened here a digital terrain model of an area that we have mapped. So this workflow works with DTM created in 3D survey, or it will also work if you have some government digital terrain model or something like that. So first of all, it's important to know your coordinate systems for this project. So the DJI Phantom RTK needs the terrain model to be in QGIS coordinate system with ellipsoidal heights. So these digital terrain models will typically have orthometric heights. So does my model here. To convert between orthometric and ellipsoidal heights, we need to know what the geoid undulation is for our area of interest. So we don't need to know this value very accurately. A meter accuracy will be plenty for our needs. So now, there are many different ways how we can get the geoid ondulation. The simplest way will be to go to this website www.isgeoid.polimi.it. If you enter this one like that, you get here. Then we click on geoid repository, select regional models, and then select, for example, by list here, then find your country. In my case that is Slovenia. This will show you a picture of the geoid model here. Now simply find the area where you flew the drone. So in my case this was this area here. So here the geoid undulation is approximately 47.5 meters. So if we know this value with a meter or 2 meter accuracy, that will probably be plenty. So there's no need for much more accuracy. So now I will just go back into 3D survey. Now we need to remember that number, 47.5 meters. Now we will select the whole terrain model, right click to confirm, press manipulate points, increase height, and we will enter this value in here, 47.5, and press OK. Like that, the height map should change, the terrain model should rise slightly. Now you can press clear. So now we have here our DTM in our coordinate system and in our ellipsoidal heights. Now right click on this digital terrain model and press save as. We will save it as a TIF file. Just fix up the name here. DTM for terrain awareness. Press and select TIF. Like that, with one F will be perfect. Press save. Okay, here is our digital terrain model. Now we need to go into QGIS and convert it from our state coordinate system into our WGS84 geographic coordinate system. Now the workflow here should be like that. Start up QGIS, it will come up empty like that. Make sure that here in the bottom right corner it says EPSG 4326. That's the WGS84 geographic coordinate system. If it's not that, click on this and select WGS84 or just simply write in here 4326 like that. It will show QGIS 84 EPSG 4326 coordinate system in here. Press OK to set the project coordinate system to this one. Okay, this was step 1. Now, here you have File Explorer on the left. Go to the drive where your folder with TIF is at. In my case, the folder was called Terrain Awareness Mode. So if the folder doesn't show up automatically, press refresh here. And here is my folder, Terrain Awareness Mode. Double click now on this TIF that we prepared. It is added automatically. So you see here it says coordinate system was undefined. It's set to 4326. This will be incorrect. We have to set the coordinate system this DTM was recorded in. Right click on the digital terrain model here and select this one, set CRS. That means set coordinate reference system, probably. Set layer coordinate system. Okay. Now you have to know in which coordinate system your project was in. In my case, that was Slovenia 1996. For example, if you were using ETRS zone 32N, you would write in here ETRS 32N, and then you would select that coordinate system here. So I think all of these are pretty much the same. It's just which area they are defined specifically from. So you have Germany, Italy, and so on. Probably this one is for the whole part of Europe. It doesn't matter actually which one you would select here if you have UTM, because all of these are actually the same. In my case, this was recorded in Slovenia in coordinate system 1996 with EPSG code, which is this one, 3794. Press OK. Okay, our digital terrain model has disappeared because it was moved to other coordinates. To get it to show back up, right click here and press on zoom to layer. Okay. And now for the final step, we save the DTM file. So now we right click here on our DTM and use this option, export and save as. Okay. Now for format we'll use GeoTIFF. Select the file name here. So here we'll write, for example, terrain model QGIS 84 ellipsoidal heights, for example, and important.tif, one F only. Press save. And then important for coordinate system, here we will select project coordinate system, EPSG 4326. Now, very important, these values should default to something around tens or maybe hundreds here for westing and easting. Okay, now let's scroll down. Also very important, here under create options, make sure to add this checkbox, then press on this green plus, and in here you need to write TFW. And for the value you need to enter yes, like that. Press validate, it should say valid. Press close. Okay, everything is set up, and press OK here. And now our DTM was successfully exported into QGIS coordinate system with ellipsoidal heights. I will go here to my folder. So now here two files were created. The first one is the TIF file and the second one is TFW. This one is called Word file. Let's copy these two files and we will now put them onto my SD card. Then on your DJI SD card, you need to create the, well, it can be any SD card, like the one that you put into your Phantom drone. It's very important on this card, you need to create first a DJI folder with all capitals. Inside the DJI folder, you need to create a folder called DSM. And then in this folder, we will create a new folder. This folder will be the name that will show up when we are importing the DSM into Phantom. So for this example, let's name the folder terrain awareness tutorial. Here we can write anything we want. It's inside that folder. We need to paste the TFW and TIF files. Okay, now we are all set. Let's bring that SD card into the Phantom remote. Okay, the DTM model is copied onto this SD card. We will now insert this SD card into the remote controller. Like that. So if this doesn't come up automatically, press on these three lines, select the SD card here, and then up here select DSM file, like that. The name of the folder that we have just created should come up here. Select that one and press import. Successfully imported. Okay, close this one. Now let's go into plan, select terrain awareness here, and here we will now select our DSM file. In my case this is terrain awareness tutorial, reading file, and here is our terrain model over our area of interest. Now we simply select plan task and we can start planning our mission. So for example, for this area here we now have so when we set the flying height, for example, to 100 meters, so now the drone flying height will be calculated to be from, in my case, from good 600 to, well, it will be around 600 meters. That's it. Good luck flying your drone. Make sure whenever you're using this terrain awareness mode to be extra careful, because in this case the ellipsoidal altitude is calculated from the terrain model that we give, and if, for example, we make some kind of error here, the drone could fly either higher or lower than we would expect it to. So make sure to check when the drone is flying to check that it's flying at the correct altitude. That's it for today. Thank you.